Hey guys, I just wanted to bring back another spontaneous podcast. I am so happy you're here. Thank you so much for being here right now, and it means the world to me. I wanted to bring this podcast a little spontaneously just because I had a moment of vulnerability today that I really wanted to share. I went to hear a public speaker today, and I was just so moved by what I've heard, and I just wanted to share. So essentially, the whole concept of time, I was thinking about it earlier this week. There were so many things that really captivated my mind, especially time. I think time is such a unique concept, that was brought into society. But I'll talk about it a bit in a moment. Essentially, when I went to hear the speaker, this guy, he was talking about how time, we often rush with our blessings. The way society is constructed nowadays, we often tend to want to rush our blessings and rush with everything that we want in life. And it really took me a moment to sit there and think to myself, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Even though I tend to try to live in the concept of living in the moment, there's often times where the reminiscence of the past or the contemplation of the future really captivate the moment of now. And he definitely emphasized living in the moment. And obviously you hear that and you're like, okay, yeah, I live in the moment. But what I started to really encapture with it all was the essence of time, and the speaker, he really emphasized how a lot of our society, we tend to move really quickly. We want things right away. We want the best. We want everything right now. We can't wait for our blessings. If the higher entity or the universe poses a blessing on us, we often will demand it almost right away. We don't want to be patient with our blessings, and a lot of the time it's for that need to be validated and reassured that you're fulfilling your ultimate life and your ultimate potential. And it really struck me that a lot of the time we tend to rush our blessings. We really define our successes by what gratifies our present moment, or what gratifies our past. But when we start to sit down and take a look at it, we realize that a lot of our blessings are yet to come, and a lot of the things that are planned for us, that the universe plans for us, is according to our own pace. The thing is, we often tend to compare ourselves to how other people's lives are going. I tended to do this a lot in the past, especially, being a teenager. It's so easy to compare yourself with the pace of other people's lives, because there's so many different, frequencies of how your life may go, And it's so easy to compare yourself, other people's accomplishments and other people's life's journeys and where they are now to yours. And I understand that. And it really takes a moment to stand back and say, you know what, I trust what the universe has in store for me, because anything in my life has been to help me grow. And anything that has really set me back has actually set me forward, even in the moment when I thought it was a huge setback. And I take whatever my biggest obstacles were in life as my biggest and most defining blessings, because they've changed me and they've shaped to who I am. I wouldn't be talking as I am now if it weren't for the things that I've had to go through in life. And I think it's beautiful. I truly do. What I wanted to touch upon was the concept of time, because I remember just pondering about this. I was going for my daily walk, and usually I like to just take 10 minutes of silence, because it's so easy to just throw on headphones and just distract yourself and really take away attention from your thoughts. But I think that silence is one of the most beautiful things you can give yourself. It gives your mind the ability to just think and have silence and really have its element of grace and thinking. And so usually I try to dedicate at least 10 minutes when I'm walking. So the other day, while I was doing this, I really had this concept of time, and it really made me ponder a lot, because time is such a constructed thing, you know? If we really think about it, what I learned from one of my classes was, you know, like the concept of the calendar. And yeah, like it's kind of self-explanatory, but you know, in my astronomy class, we were essentially just talking about how it was constructed and how it came to be, and the whole devotion of time and how we lay it out based on the stars and the rotations of the sun. And I really got encaptured by it all, but it really took me a moment to think, you know, the way our time works, the whole 24/7 clock and the 365 days, the concept is quite man-made. It isn't a universal construct. You know, it's something that human beings put together with just mathematical construct. It is not really a completely real concept if you think about it. You know, what defines a day? Okay, well, a day is a whole rotation, right, of just night and day. Makes sense, right? But essentially, I started to think about the fact that time can literally be whatever construct you want it to be. You know, and it really got me thinking. I tried putting something to the test myself. I thought to myself, you know what, if a whole day, maybe on another planet, is per se a week or even a minute, you know, the concept of time is so fascinating to me. You know, you could break it down to different universal elements. And I thought to myself, you know, what if I made it a new day every 3 minutes? I know it sounds crazy, but I thought to myself, you know, what if every 3 minutes was a new day for me? That would be 480 days within one human day. I know it's a fascinating concept to me, but I tried it, and when I tell you, it changed the way I thought completely. The concept of time is literally in your perception. No one obligated you to follow the concept of someone else's creation. I know that's what society uses, but you have full potential to use whatever construct of time you want to use. So it was so weird. I tried putting this concept to the test. Essentially what I would do is every 3 minutes, the day would reset. You know, if I said, oh, like a couple hours ago, I just had a really bad moment. You know, something happened where I was just not proud of it, or you know, I didn't do as well as I wanted to. I didn't reach the goals I wanted to for that day. You know what I did to myself was I said, every 3 minutes, my day resets. I have a new day. I have 480 days within one day. And, you know, it made me think that, okay, even if I wasn't productive 5 minutes ago, it's a new day, it's a new start. I could start every 3 minutes with a new start. And that mindset is completely life-changing. It gives you a new perspective of what time really actually means. And I know it's a strange concept to really wrap your head around, but essentially when you break it down to the little things, it starts flowing a lot easier. You know, I would write down my goals. I would have usually 3 goals for the day. What are my 3 main goals? What are my 3 main purposes? What do I want to fulfill and accomplish in my day? You know, and usually those goals were pretty big. You know, finish a project or go do something personal for yourself. You know, And those things usually seem so big when you write them down on paper, because they're very time consuming, they're very energy based and hard work ethically based. And often when I would read it, I would think to myself, wow, that is going to take a lot of time. And I found myself in the past it would take forever for me to do an assignment or do something that I wanted to fulfill, that I thought to myself, wow, maybe I could have taken half the time to do that. And it happens a lot of the time. But when I started constructing it down to my own almost guideline of how time works, it was so transformative, and it was so weird to see that the construct of time is literally in your control. Time is literally an ever-flowing entity. It is non-stop. It doesn't have to be confined to what society confines you to. And I know it's strange to think about, but if you want to live your day in different increments, it's bizarre, but you can literally do that. I've started a thing where I think to myself, okay, what can I accomplish most in my day? But I'm going to break it down in 3-minute increments. So essentially, I started it off as a 3-minute timer. I said to myself, okay, what can I accomplish in 3 minutes? Like, that's a whole day cycle for me. So I would put my timer for 3 minutes, and I would try to get as much done. And it was bizarre, but I felt so much more productive. I felt so much more motivated and driven, because I felt like 3 minutes is a lot easier time-wise to get something done, and I felt focused. I felt so divine and in my element, because time is my own construct. Time works on my end because I created time. Time is on my side because the universe grants me whatever construct I want to compose for myself. And it's hard to describe, but time is literally, it's your own schedule. You can make time whatever you want to be. A clock can be your clock. No one has to understand your clock or how it works for you. And I tried this actually for 3 days. I did one day where I dedicated 1 hour, was a new day for me. Was a completely new day. Whatever happened an hour ago, out of my mind, because that was a new day. A completely new day. If I felt unproductive an hour ago, that doesn't matter, because it's a new day for me, and it's a new drive, and I'm onto a new goal. I'm onto a new thing, and it really helped me understand that, time is literally constructed. There's no such thing as a 24-hour clock. If you step back into the universe's perspective, time is an infinite entity. It's an infinite entity. We don't have to break it down. If you want to compose it into 1-minute increments, do it. For me, at least personally, I tried it for 3 minutes. One day I tried for 1 hour. One time I tried for 5 minutes. One time I tried for 3 minutes. And I thought to myself, in another planet, this is exactly how the clock and the perception of time works. 3 minutes here is an hour somewhere else, or a day somewhere else. And vice versa. Like, there's so many different constructs of time in the universe. And it's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. But when I started thinking that way, I said, you know what? I am not defined by who I was an hour ago, because that's a new day. This is a new day right now, because the concept of time is in my perception. Everyone thinks that they're defined by the past, and a lot of the time, even for myself, I would really define people by their past, and it was such a toxic trait for me, because I really had the concept of, oh, you're who your past is, you know what I mean? And I would usually, unfortunately, in my past, I would judge people for their past, because this was before my spiritual endeavors and really opening my spiritual awakening, but I would judge people for their past, because I thought they were stuck to who they were in the past. And I thought, I didn't really believe in the concept of people can change, people can grow, people can become new people. I couldn't wrap my head around that, and I don't particularly blame myself, just because I was quite young, and I'm not going to define myself as I was in the past, obviously, because I was a different person. And that's the way I thought back then. But now I define myself in a different point of time. I let go of my past. That past self doesn't define me. I don't judge people's pasts whatsoever, because you know what I realized no one is defined by who they were in the past. Nobody. If you've learned something, if you're a better person now, if you treat people with kindness, respect, love, and you magnify your purpose of giving love into the world, then your past does not matter. Your past does not define you. It does not chain you. It does not chain you down. You should not feel burdened by your past. It's really hard to come to terms with that, because a lot of people think they're defined by their past mistakes. But if you've learned something, then free yourself of that burden, because you are a new person and you are reborn every single day. Every single day. You don't even have to say every single day. Your days could literally be in 3-minute increments, because time is in your construct. If you would like to be rebirthed any minute, every 3 minutes you can rebirth yourself. It's a fascinating concept, and to me, I truly resonate with the fact that time is in your power. Time is in your essence. The universe has gifted you this time. So it's in your full control to really identify what you would like to with the time you're given. What I also heard today, when I was listening to the speaker, is the whole point of being fiercely in the present. And this really moved me to vulnerability, because a lot of the time I'm really constructed into thinking further in the future, and it's amazing, think about your goals, think about what you want to achieve. But a lot of the time I waste living in the moment, because I am so focused on providing for the future and providing for a time that is not even guaranteed, when the only time that is guaranteed is now. And sometimes I forget about that. I think about what lessons I've learned in the past, meaning I don't live in the moment. Or I think about how the future will go, or how I can plan for my future, which means I'm not living in the present. And at that moment, there was just stillness. There was so much stillness, and everything came to balance, He just said, take a moment, take 2 minutes, because a lot of the time people just cannot sit in silence. People cannot be in stillness, because nowadays our society is moving so rapidly. Things are happening 24/7. There's just so much rush. If you want something, you get it immediately, the gratification of satisfaction. And it really made me think, sometimes all we need in life is stillness. We just need stillness. We need to live in the moment. We just need to actually observe the fact that we are breathing, we are living, we are in a moment of time that will never be granted to us again. And it's so fascinating and so beautiful. I was so moved, because the way that, you often construct yourself by time, it's like, oh, what am I going to do Monday? What am I going to do Thursday? What am I going to do actually a week, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when I'm 80? We often think so much about what we have to do, what we have to get done, what we have to finish, what are the goals and checkpoints we have to reach. We sometimes just need to stop and be in the moment. So I welcome you right now just to be with me, just be with me right now in this moment. Just observe the fact that we are here present in this moment, because I think that is such a wonderful thing. Just let go of the past, let go of the future, just live in this moment of stillness. Accept peace, accept stillness and quietness, and embrace it. Usually what people try to do, and even myself, is silence just sometimes is scary, but silence, I think, is the most beautiful and magnetizing thing in the universe, because stillness and just silence magnifies your thoughts and manifests everything with such magnetization, because you can really focus. You can really just focus in the moment and focus on your thoughts. We often try to distract ourselves. If we're in moments of stillness, sometimes we get uncomfortable and we decide, okay, I gotta put music, I gotta go on my phone, I gotta have some sort of distraction, But I think just living in the present, call it meditation, so be it, but just breathe, just stay in the moment, just stay with me here right now, and just stay in this moment, because this moment will never come back. It won't. The time that we just spent for the last 15 minutes is gone. But isn't that beautiful? We're here right now. We're here right now. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And you know what? The universe is the most blessed thing, because all we're given is now, So moral of the story, what I wanted to say is, time is in your power. It's in your essence. You have the full capability to construct time however you would like. If you want to construct it in your own terms, so be it. Time is in your power. You don't have to be living off of time that was created and mathematically constructed by other human beings. If you want to live your day in 5-minute increments, 1-hour increments, do it. It's just try it for one day, spend a day where you really dedicate every hour into believing that you are being reborn, that you are starting a new day every hour, and see where it takes you. You know what I mean? Don't define yourself by the past. And that's what it teaches you. It teaches you to rebirth yourself. It teaches you to fulfill the moment in the now. And it shows you how fast time can really be, because when you observe that, in a sense that it goes by so quickly, you really get to be more grateful for the time you have. But I would definitely highly consider trying, because the universe grants you time, and the biggest blessing you can do with that time is really embrace it, and embrace the silence, and embrace everything that you've been given. Take 2 minutes today, just embrace the silence and embrace the time you've been given, because I think it is a blessing. But that's all I wanted to bring today. So thank you so much for sitting here and listening with me. It means so much. Remember to be kind, to drink water and stay hydrated, and to always give. So thank you so much, and until the next podcast.